gentlemen, if we could just have your attention for a couple of minutes and then get back to all of the merriment and great beverages and other things. My name is Craig Greenberg. I am honored to be the mayor of Louisville, and it's an honor to be with all of you all here today to celebrate Code Louisville. I'm always focused, yes. Our administration is focused on making Louisville safer, stronger, and healthier. And one of the ways we can do that is to help create good-paying jobs and satisfying careers for people all across our city. And that's exactly what Code Louisville has done. So it's great to be with you all to celebrate an incredible achievement. That Code Louisville now has placed more than 1,000 graduates in technology jobs. That is amazing. So congratulations and thank you to everyone who has helped make this possible, from the program staff, members, employer partners, and participants. The truth is that Code Louisville is much more than just about technology. It's also about community, as we're showing here today. That's what makes it so special, and that's why it's been so successful. This all began in 2013 as a pilot program, and then it really took off in 2015. When President Obama visited Louisville. And the president identified Code Louisville as a national model for technology training. For 5 years, the program was funded by a federal grant, but today it remains funded by Louisville Metro government. I want to thank Michael Gritton and everyone at Kentuckiana Works and my colleagues on Metro Council for their support, for Kentuckiana's work leadership, and for what all of you all do to make Code Louisville a reality. And it's been so successful that recently it's even inspired the formation of a statewide program called Code Kentucky. And just since last year, Code Louisville has rolled out improved courses and have helped 187 participants start technology jobs. And of course, it's great to hear that new courses are coming as well. Code Louisville will always continue to be about investing in people. It's so great that we have Code Louisville as a partner in our Growing Louisville Together plan, which is focused on creating a thriving economic future for our city and creating good-paying career path jobs. So 1,000 job placements is just a number. Let's hear from some of those people, because each one of those 1,000 jobs changed a person's life. So first, I want to introduce you to Arissa Duval. Arissa has been interested in technology since she was a kid. She started in Code Louisville in 2017, while she was working for the American Printing House for the Blind. So Arissa, will you please come up here and share a little bit about what this program has meant to you? Ladies and gentlemen, Arissa Duval.
Hello. I've spoken in front of so many people in the past, and yet somehow this is more nerve-wracking just because I think Code Louisville means so much to me and the impact that it had on my life. As the mayor stated, I originally was working at the American Printing House for the Blind, and it was a wonderful role and opportunity, but it was a very physical IT role where I had to be crawling under desks and everything. And for me, with some of the disabilities that I have, that just was not going to be a long-term viable option for me as much as I enjoyed it. And I ended up hearing about Code Louisville in part thanks to the announcement from Obama and as well through some of my friends. And I was already kind of surrounded by a lot of people that dealt with development. So I'd kind of gotten to see some of the freedom, the flexibility, and the puzzles and everything that they got to work with on a day-to-day basis. And so Code Louisville was kind of a natural step towards getting to figure out is this a viable career path for me? And if nothing else, getting to learn so many amazing skills, getting to learn different developmental foundations and networking skills that have paid off in just droves for me. My first job placement was actually with Composable Systems, which later became CloudFit Software, doing site reliability engineering, and I was able to use my knowledge that I gained from Code Louisville to actually thrive there and learn new skills quicker, and just being able to make those connections I needed to keep growing and learning. I then went on to work with Good Maps, which is a child company of the American Printing House for the Blind. as a accessibility quality analyst, in large part because when I worked at the printing house for the blind, I gained an extreme passion for all things accessibility. It's what I do a lot of my talks on. I then moved from that over into working as a accessibility engineer with CVS Health, starting in 2021 up until May of this year, when I lost my contract. There was all the layoffs and stuff with CVS, and unfortunately I just kind of got caught in that. But because of all the connections and the supportive community that I got to build up through Code Louisville and through speaking engagements, I wasn't afraid. I wasn't worried the way I would have been in the past had I lost my job. I knew that I had this wonderful community that has been built up that could help me thrive and survive. And that has paid off again, because now I'm working as a accessibility subject matter expert with GitHub. I joke that it's like one letter removed from being FANG, kind of. And then, on top of that, there's been the great career growth that I've gained from it, but there's also been, I've become a Google Accessibility Trusted Tester, which is basically a volunteer tester, and you get some really cool little gifts here or there as well from that, which is cool. I've become a Google Women Tech Makers Ambassador, which is one of their community groups, which resulted in me actually getting to go to Google I/O on Google's dime this year, which, hey, what better way to go? And then I also, I was awarded a Microsoft MVP award in March of this year for developer technologies web development, which was something I'd been working on for about 5 years. And so finally getting that, if I hadn't gone to Code Louisville, that probably never would have happened. I never would have thought to do that. So yeah, it's definitely a program that will continue to give back to the community in so many ways.
Thank you, Arissa. Next, we've got Paul Kavuma, who's another example of how Code Louisville can help change a person's life. Paul was a teacher in Uganda who moved to Louisville to be with his wife and family. And he was working at Whole Foods, I believe, when you learned about Code Louisville and signed up in 2020. So to hear a little bit more about Paul's story, he's going to come up and share with us. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you all for having me. Like the mayor said, I'm from Uganda, and I trained to be a teacher. And my wife and I moved out here in 2015. And when I moved here, as an immigrant, English was my second language, so I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to teach, especially since I was just an English learner, and it wasn't like my first language. And so through friends and a lot of community, I was able to get a job at Whole Foods. That's after thinking and wondering what I was going to do when I go here. And so I got a job at Whole Foods, and that gave me time to think through what I should be doing at some point. And so I did that, and when I looked around of things I could do, tech came in mind, and one of the reasons was because it's very flexible and very rewarding. And so I was like, why don't I do this? And so I talked to a bunch of friends and looked online of ways how I could do that, and Code Louisville came up. And I got a lot of good reviews from my friends about Code Louisville, and that was very easy for me to decide. And also, other thing is, it's a free program. So I was like, I'll just go for this so I don't have to pay a lot of money to go to college or anything like that. So I was able to get all those skills from Code Louisville. And I got a lot of mentors that helped me through the program. When I finished the program, I kept working on different projects. And also, even after that, I reached out to mentors that I knew did help me within the program, even after the program, and they answered a bunch of questions that I needed. And even right now, I can reach out to anybody through the Slack community of Code Louisville and be able to get any help that I need. And so right now, I'm still working at Whole Foods, but I've gotten a lot of contracts to build websites, and I'm still getting a lot of contracts, and I'm still looking out for full-time opportunities, but still I have contracts that I'm working on, which have been very helpful to be able to supplement my income, which has been something very, very helpful, and I'm really grateful for everybody that puts on Code Louisville, those behind the scenes, and all those that, people like Brian and the mayor's office. I'm sure you all do that. I'm very thankful for Code Louisville. It's been really, really life-changing for me. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Paul. In addition to helping impact the lives of folks like Paul and Arissa that we've heard from, it's also made such a positive impact on some local companies that have been able to hire Code Louisville participants. And so now next here from a great local company who is growing by leaps and bounds and doing so many great things right here in the neighborhood is the CEO of El Toro, my good friend Stacy Griggs.
So imagine how Louisville is different because of 1,000 people who now have better jobs, who now are creating and participating in a digital economy, who, by the way, are starting businesses. In fact, that's the best kind of job. If you can't find a job, go make a job. Go start your own job. So the transformative nature of what Code Louisville has done has far exceeded any dream I would have had when we first hired our first Code Louisville graduate. We've hired 43 Code Louisville graduates over the years, and Code Louisville has made it possible for a company like us to be in Louisville and scale in Louisville. And when I look at 1,000 people out there, imagine all of the other companies that are going to be attracted to a place like Louisville because of those 1,000 additional tech employees. Every community, everyone needs more tech talent. And Louisville is doing this, which is something that not everybody's doing, to build a tech talent base right here in town and take people who have skills, have desire, want to have the right opportunity, but because of life, because they didn't make the right choices in college. And by the way, who the hell can make the right choice at 18? But you're forced as an 18-year-old to say, what do I want to do for the rest of my life? And most people don't get it right. But because of any of a number of decisions or things that happen in life, or having a family and delaying college or not going to college, this has given so many people a second chance that it's one of the things I'm most proud about for our community. So thank you.
Thanks, Stacy. El Toro is just one of 700 companies that have hired at least one Code Louisville graduate. And this list includes companies like El Toro. It includes some of our city's biggest companies like Humana and UPS, along with small businesses across the region. So next, we're going to hear from another local startup that has a close partnership with Code Louisville. Joey Mudd is the Vice President of Engineering for Virtual Peaker. And it's great that Joey also is here as a partner of Code Louisville. Joey, please join us.
Hi, I'm Joey Mudd. I'm the Vice President of Engineering at Virtual Peaker. As the mayor said, we're a local startup, so we're founded in Louisville. When I started, we were a 3-person company, and at the time we hired our first Code Louisville graduate. We were a 5-person company, so still very small. Today, we're a 50-person company, and the majority of people we've hired at Virtual Peaker are Code Louisville graduates. We have 75% or more of our engineering department has gone through Code Louisville. 2/3 of our team leads on the engineering side have come through Code Louisville, which means we're not just hiring junior engineers, but we're able to promote people to management level within the company out of the program. So it's really hard for me to imagine a Virtual Peaker without Code Louisville, and I'm very thankful to the city for keeping the program strong. I'm thankful to all the Code Louisville employees, and then the students. The students are great, the training is great, and it's really kept Virtual Peaker strong. And in addition to Code Louisville, we've hired multiple people out of Code Kentucky, so the whole Code U family has fit very well with our company. We have an internship program, so we keep a steady presence of Code Louisville graduates and Code Kentucky graduates within the company. We've got an alumni network of people who have come through our internship, so I just can't say enough about the value of these programs to our company. And I'd also like to thank Stacy and El Toro. They really were a model for how we thought about hiring from this program. So the value to the city of Louisville is just huge. So thanks very much.
Thank you so much, Joey. There are lots of software development training programs out there these days. So what makes Code Louisville so special? For one, it's completely free to participants. That certainly helps. But one of the secret ingredients for Code Louisville is the mentors that you've heard referred to today. Each Code Louisville course is guided by experienced tech professionals who volunteer their time and their expertise to help students navigate their way through the challenging curriculum. They answer questions not just about coding, but about what it's like to work in the tech sector and what it's like to get that first job. To date, Code Louisville's 700 mentors have donated more than 18,000 hours of their time in support of Code Louisville participants. So if you've served as a Code Louisville mentor, thank you very much. We really appreciate your participation. And finally, behind Code Louisville's success is also an amazing staff. So let's hear from the director of Code Louisville's technology, director of the technology programs at Kentuckiana Works that does so much for Code Louisville, Brian Lurman. He's the leader of the Code Louisville team. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Brian.
So, good evening, everybody. So I hope you will indulge me as I tell my personal story about how I got connected with Code Louisville and what that means to me and what I've seen over the years. So I won't go into all the history we already heard about, presidential visit and our grant and everything. But 9 years ago, I was working as a project manager for a tech company and was talking with my colleague, and he mentioned this interesting program he had signed up for called Code Louisville. I'd only heard the name briefly, didn't know much about it, and went in, investigated, and learned a little bit more about it, and soon talked about it with my lovely wife, Lee, and we decided to sign up together. So we were two very different students there. I was already in tech, but was looking to learn something new. She was looking to get out of customer service and get into something much more interesting and engaging. And so we both went through a class together. Shortly after that, she continued to go through the program. I took my skills back to my job. A few months go by, and the previous director of the program announces she's leaving. And I was so enamored with how the program ran, the culture of it, the style, the people that were involved and everything. I was like, this is something I want to do. I want to get out of the corporate grind and do something more impactful. And so I reached out to Becky Steele, the person who was leaving the job, and I said, I want your job. That was the first line in my email to her. I want your job. And so she introduced me to Michael Gritton, the executive director of Kentuckiana Works, and Ryder Rodriguez, who is the founder of Code Louisville. And shortly after, I was offered the job. And it's been 8 years as of last week. And it has been life-changing, not only for for me in my career and being able to be happy in it, but in seeing all the impact it has. I mean, first of all, it's impacted my own family. My wife is now a lead software engineer for Atria Senior Living here in town, and that has just been game-changing for both of us. But the real impact that I've seen is in the community. So as we've heard tonight, we've seen 1,000 people, more than that now, that have gone through the program just in the Louisville region alone and have gotten tech jobs. And we've seen everything from music majors, stay-at-home moms, medical professionals. Everybody can go through learn these skills and either take it back and advance in their current career or make a total switch. That's the beauty of the tech industry, is that there's just so many different ways to approach it. And the mentors, I cannot thank the mentors enough. So these, as the mayor was just saying, they're all volunteers. This program would not exist without them. If you had asked me if there was any way that a program could sustain itself in an educational component, all volunteers, I would never believe it was possible until I saw it happen. And every class, I'm always worried we're never going to have enough, but they always come up and step up to the challenge. So again, thank you to all the mentors, and the tech community and the employers as well. So Louisville has a thriving tech community. There's, we just have a huge volunteer component, of course, but employers like El Toro and Virtual Peaker and others have all stepped up to advise the program, to hire folks, give them opportunities that may not be available otherwise. So just a thank you to the whole community of Louisville for all the support of the program over these years. And I also wanted to just talk briefly about some of the things that we're looking forward to. So we do have some new classes that are going to be coming up. So we're hoping to launch next calendar year some classes in artificial intelligence, DevOps, and cybersecurity, and maybe some more options on top of that. That's just our effort to try and stay on top of where the industry is going and make sure that we're teaching relevant skills. We're, of course, always updating our current classes, so we'll continue to modify our web dev, software dev, and data analytics classes. And we're excited that we're actually in the middle of kicking a class off right now. Orientation is in just a couple hours. So looking forward to having a new class that is something like 180 students that are getting started just in the Louisville class tonight. And ultimately, I'm looking forward to the next 1,000 jobs. With the support from the community, from the mayor's office, and everybody here, we are looking forward to continuing to support the program, grow it, and see that 1,000 more Louisvillians and Kentuckians land those tech jobs and are able to change their lives with it. So with that, I welcome everybody to stay around tonight. I know we have just a couple more comments, but food will be coming out soon and everything. Bar's open, so we hope you stay around and get to meet everybody and just share stories about Code Louisville or get to know somebody. So with that, I'll hand it back to the mayor.
Thanks, Paul. And finally, before we get back to eating and drinking, I just want to recognize some of Code Louisville's founders who are here with us today. I mentioned Michael Gritton of Kentuckiana Works, who we work closely on so many workforce development training programs. Ryder Rodriguez, as was mentioned also, thank you so much. Great to have you with us here tonight. And Ted Smith, who I've not seen tonight, but also thanks to Ted, who's still doing great things for Louisville in the private and nonprofit sector. Thank you so much for your, and finally, if you all know somebody who might want to be, we've got 180 tonight for the next class of Code Louisville. Of course, go to codelouisville.org and they can sign up and learn so much more. Thanks for everyone who has something to do with this. I'm excited to continue to support the program and have a great night. Thank you all.